Hey everyone. As the title of this video indicates, it's a follow-up to that Simtek sensor video I did pretty recently. And a lot of you out there think you're pretty funny.
Pretty funny, huh?
Honestly, I'm laughing too. This is exactly what I wanted to have happen. I was hoping, in fact, by doing a little blur action on that video edit, I was like, this is going to tempt enough people to do some freeze frame shit. And it did. So, a couple people did point out that the serial number of the unit, which is what you use if you're, it's like a Nest camera, right? Like you pair it with your, like you QR code it and like you scan it in with the app. That's how you register a device. The serial number was visible in a couple frames. It's why I blurred it out. I'm like, this is probably sensitive information. I bet I should do this. And I just did a slapdash job, which was perfect because you delivered like gangbusters. Some people were able to figure out that it's possible to register my device to their Simtek account. They created an account, and it's a little leaky on the information. This is a really good pen test. So I was getting messages from people in the comments, and even really, like, I'm glad I know how y'all think. It could have been freaky. Somebody texted me. Somebody texted me at my number because they saw when they logged in to like the Simtek, management console, it shows you other phone numbers. You can have more than one phone number registered to a device, and multiple people get alerts, but it shows you those phone numbers. So somebody, got my phone number and messaged me, and they're like, "Hey, man, just so you know, check my comments on your YouTube. I've hijacked your Simtek." I mean, they didn't really hijack it. They partnered with it. They attached to it. But Brady, the owner, he confirmed. He's like, yeah, I mean, this is sensitive information. You, much like a Nest camera, you wouldn't want to have that splashed around publicly. Now, in fairness to like Nest or other ecosystems like that, where you're scanning a QR code, you usually have to be in proximity to the device. There's some Bluetooth going on typically. The Simtek that's not their architecture. So if you get one of these units and you have your safe open, like your friends are all hanging around, and you're like getting your guns out and showing your guns off. Look, I 3D printed this awesome MP5. Maybe don't let somebody just take the unit and like screenshot the QR code. That being said, the system's supposed to throw an alert. I didn't get one, and Brady was checking. He's like, "Oh, you should have gotten a push notification that said additional phone registered." So he's looking into that. He's also looking into. We're going to swap out and test my unit's vibration sensor is very, very active. And he thought ahead. There's some great, if you haven't checked the comments, like look for Simtek in my old video. I'll link it at the end of this video in the card and the doobly-doo down there. But like Brady jumped into the comments. He was answering so many questions people had. People were asking things like, oh, that external antenna, what if I just cut it or rip it off? Then it'll die. He's like, nope, there's an internal antenna too. He was talking about battery life. He was talking about a lot of really cool things that he's thought of. One of the things that he thought of, and I mentioned like, well, you couldn't put this like in your trunk because it would be rattling all the time. If you take the housing apart, it's a few screws, he actually makes the sensors disableable. And not with some shitty hack. Like there's dip switches. He has them potted right on the board. He's like, yeah, we can click, click. Here you go. You can like turn off vibration. You can turn off sound, other things. And I might do that if I were to use it in a car. The thing is, we couldn't figure out why in my building, it's in my office, as what you pointed out when you messaged me, you told me where it was. It's in one of my offices in Oregon. And he's like, oh, well, in your office, it shouldn't be, why is it vibrating? Do you have like really aggressive, like AC vents or something in the room? I was like, no. Is there a train going by? No. There is a freight line near us, but I was calling my office. I'm like, dude, my sensor's going off. Is there another freight train? They're like, no, dude, nothing's happening. So we're going to swap that out. We're going to do some troubleshooting. But on the whole, I really do like, it has promise. All the things that you're hearing me talk about, you think I like, oh, well, this is why you shouldn't use it. It leaks data. No, it's actually, for what it is and for the price point, it's decent. And of course, there were one or two of you in the comments that are like, I could build this in $10 of off-the-shelf componentry. You don't have to spend all this money. I'm like, yeah, and like I can brew my own beer too, but I'd rather just go to the store and get a 6-pack of Yinzer or something. Like, I don't have time for all that kind of crap. The fact that somebody prepackaged all these components, made it work beautifully for relatively cheap, I think it makes sense in the marketplace that it serves. A lot of people were like, oh, why don't you have Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi's, cheaper. You wouldn't have to pay for cellular. And Brady's whole point is like, all of you have seen jamming and disabling of Wi-Fi for attacking houses. That's a well-known trick now. He's like, maybe Wi-Fi is a fallback in the future, but really what we're doing, we're trying to not have Wi-Fi. We're trying to have something that's more robust. So kudos to everyone who played some funny shenanigans. I'm going to swap the unit out for a new serial number. Brady's working with me on that. And I love it. I love what I've learned so far. There are some, the battery's already dead on mine because, again, it was literally, look, it was throwing alerts like every minute at some point. We don't know what's going on. But I'll keep you updated. This was a good first test. You're going to get an update from me after further testing soon. But thank you for being part of my pen test of this new product as I learn how to trust it. All right. I should give you a giveaway. What friggin', I don't know. What can I, you know what? Here. Because they're changing, it's just completely unrelated to the Simtek stuff, but I'm in my office here. The original red devious decoder cards, these are going away. As you know, we have the new stainless steel ones, but I still have a couple of the red ones left. So yeah, one or two of you, that's the giveaway this week. You know, the URL, people wrote to me and they're like, hey man, I signed up under the wrong email address. Can you change it? And I always kind of log in, I check, I try to do that stuff. But for the most part, yeah, just like register again. You know, I'll kill the old one. It'll nuke your old information. Just don't worry about it. Just click the confirm link and you're on the giveaway list. You're good forever. Enjoy it. Enjoy the stuff that I've got a bunch of new giveaways I've got to do. I promise you're going to see some emails from me soon. This is not the main video this week. This is a little weekend fun announcement. But yeah, I just had so much, I had so many smiles on my face. None of you are disappointing me. Keep thinking like the way you're thinking. Keep making others safe by all your security testing and pushing the limits of a system. And you yourselves, no matter what you do, no matter who you play with and who you hack on, just stay safe out there.